Claridge's Hotel, an icon of old-school glamour in the heart of London's Mayfair. For 130 years, it's been a home from home for world leaders, film stars and royalty.
It's almost like you're sort of entering a piece of theatre in a way, because the place is so beautiful.
Oh, hi, Christian. Hello.
Those who stay can expect impeccable attention to detail.
Oh, Aya. It says Aya on it. Oh, that's so kind.
But after decades of underinvestment, the cracks are beginning to show.
The hotel can't stay as it is because the hotel is actually dying.
To prepare for the future, the hotel is taking on a massive renovation project.
We're decking this across with another steel structure, right?
Adding 50% to its size by creating a 5-storey mega basement.
I just thought it was crazy. I thought that was absolutely crazy.
With a state-of-the-art spa.
This is the only thing I'm a little bit worried about, if Claridge's is ready for something this extreme.
And above ground, 4 new stories, topped by what's likely to be London's most expensive penthouse.
Doing this penthouse is a massive challenge. Of course it's difficult. Everything is difficult.
Wow. It just decimated the whole spa.
The boss has one overriding demand.
I was very insistent that to close the hotel was a no-no.
But staying open means building a matter of meters from the well-heeled guests.
Behind there is the building site, so that floor's gone.
Staff will be pushed to their 5-star limits.
Breakfast is always challenging, when the builders are in the lift as well. Squeeze in, room for 251. First of all.
Protecting this renowned haven of luxury in the middle of a building site.
Probably worried about it maybe swinging, hitting the building.
Stop!
This is the inside story of the most audacious hotel upgrade ever attempted.
Morning, man. Coming in? Morning, sir. Welcome.
It's a bit of a bump there.
It's breakfast time in Mayfair, and some of the hotel's regular guests are being served.
Claridge very kindly host the House of Cavalry Regiment once every 6 weeks, so we've just brought some of our horses and soldiers for a rather smart breakfast.
Ladies, bacon rolls, perhaps?
I would love a bacon roll.
Here we are. Take your time.
I mean, the soldiers were really surprised. I don't think they were expecting brioche bacon rolls and cups of tea. It makes for a different morning.
Inside, the hotel is at capacity with its more conventional clientele.
Cheers.
All 95 rooms are full, with guests willing to spend thousands to savour its 5-star luxury.
You know, there are so many people that would be coming and staying here, whether they're staying here, whether they're coming for afternoon tea today, they would have no clue that we're doing this huge renovation up and below ground.
Just metres away from the elegance of the foyer restaurant is the enormous construction site.
This is one of our Narnia doors. Yes. I always keep the coast clear if there's a guest coming because I don't want them to really see past this door. Wow. Quite different. Claridge is one side, Narnia the other.
It's 2019, just over halfway through the 7-year project to add another 50% to the size of Claridge's.
Buddy, Soccer actually left, is coming up from your hoist there.
Yeah, we're there.
A 50-metre crane has been built into the core of the hotel, and the top 2 floors are being dismantled to make way for the next stage of the build.
And that's yours for the kids. All clear?
It's all coming together now, but I just can't wait to see it at the end, to be honest, when it's all finished. I definitely think it is pretty ambitious to carry on running the hotel with the guests staying in it while we carry on building the top. It's just crazy.
After removing thousands of tons of rubble, the crane now needs to hoist material to build a 4-floor, 40-bedroom Victorian-style roof extension. The crowning glory of this massive build, a 4-bedroom penthouse, rumoured to cost up to £100,000 a night. Spanning the entire roof, it will feature a gym, swimming pool, lake, and 1,800 square foot grand salon.
We've got this model of the whole building, and it actually shows that the introduction of the additional stories proportionately actually works extremely well.
Today, the principal architect, Michael Blair, is updating hotel boss Paddy McKillen on the next phase of the build.
So we've got the pool here.
You've got the pool, that's correct.
And then we've got the spa. I wonder what the whole square footage is. Would it be?
We have
20,
it's at least
20,000 square feet,
Yeah.
I'm sure. The hotel dates back to Victorian times, and then in the last century there was an extension created, an Art Deco extension. So if you like, this massive new build is the third life of Claridge's.
With such an ambitious scheme as this and limited building area around it, it would be best for key elements to be built by craftsmen off-site. In this tight consideration, it's the only way really of doing this building.
Building large elements off-site and then fitting them together on-site across the entire roof of a listed building is unprecedented.
Craftsmen will be making brick by brick in the traditional way, but nevertheless it will be put on frames and so on, brought to site, and we will be able to crane elements into position.
Amazing, amazing.
Claridge's central London location means there's no space to store materials or construct elements at the hotel. So the 4-storey Victorian-style roof will be built mainly off-site. "500 miles away in Castle Welland, Northern Ireland."
Hang on to the top there to see what height these things are.
The 24 dormer windows, which will form part of the perimeter of the new stories, are under construction. Specialist brickwork is being laid around frames in order to blend seamlessly with the existing 19th century building.
Turner, have you a tape measure on you? What? You a tape measure?
Trevor McKibben had to train specially to master the craft of gauged brickwork, introduced from the Netherlands 500 years ago, and the height of fashion when Claridge's was first built.
Gauged brickwork is brickwork in very fine tolerances. A joint in it can sort of be around 1 to 2 millimetres. You can see here how tight these joints are and how it's nice and flush. Now, on a normal brick, this would be about 1 centimetre, which would be like the thickness of a finger. So then you have more room to move, and if the brick moves or if there's a twist, you can hide it in that size of a joint. The problem comes whenever you do this. There is no tolerances, and it has to be perfect every time.
And to ensure perfection, the bricks themselves are even made in a specialist way.
A normal brick is kilned up to something like 1400 degrees. So what you're left with is a very hard outside shell, but if you were to cut through it, there's not the same texture all the way through. Where a gauged brickwork is only kilned up to something like 800 degrees, so it hasn't fully hardened, but it's cooked the same consistency right through like a cake. So it means then you're able to shape and to work that brick.
Good for carving, less good for transporting. With 6 specialist companies making the parts for Claridge's new roof extension, the dormers need to be taken to another site to be assembled with the rest of the pre-made frame to ensure the whole thing fits together.
Are you putting a strap on that? Shut the back door. Yeah.
Only then can they begin their final journey to Mayfair.
Our concerns in transporting these is the vibrations, the braking and the acceleration and the corners that the truck's going to put on it. We know that if it survives the transport, it will survive hundreds of years up on the building.
Hello, man. Yeah, lovely. See the middle arch where the sunflowers are? Go straight through and have a lovely time.
Good morning, concierge, can I help you? It's Martin.
Back in London, complex transport arrangements are all part of the daily routine.
What time do you need to be there in Monaco? It's now 12:50. We'll probably try and have something ready on the runway by 3 o'clock. Would that be okay? Perfect. The dog has a passport as well. We'll make sure that works. Thank you.
These boards been lifted up. They're going down, they're ready to go down.
With the work on the roof gathering pace, the management team have decided to close off some areas of the hotel to insulate guests from the noise. All 19 bedrooms on the 4th floor have been taken out of service.
We're fortunate enough with this area that we've already got possession of the floor below, so that then acts as a buffer for us. So we were able to sort of go hell for leather up here, if you like. After 10 o'clock, then we can start with not heavy machinery, but you're talking about sledgehammers, crowbars, recip saws, the odd angle grinder.
Staying just a few floors below is Stephen Jones, milliner to royalty and the rich and famous.
Come in.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Your lunch, sir.
Lovely, thank you.
He regularly seeks respite at the hotel.
Some beautiful oysters.
Wonderful. If you're running a hotel, every night is opening night. You're only as good as your last performance.
Just leave it here for you?
Yes, just there, that'd be fine. I think when people come here, they're looking for a little quiet paradise in the centre of London. And I think throughout the construction, it's been able to be kept like that.
Just the two clothes, or would you like to leave the centre?
I'll have a little bit of centre as well.
Fantastic, sir.
I see you brought 2 glasses.
I was going to join you. No.
But I'm sure, like policemen, you're not allowed to drink on duty.
No.
My atelier and my salon is a mile away from here, but I'm here in Claridge's having some self-inflicted TLC. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Whenever I think about the world and think about Claridge's, I always think it's probably the centre of the known universe. And everything becomes slightly less civilised the further away you go. Heaven on earth.
But while Stephen enjoys room service in silence, not all the guests are as happy. Vibrations have been felt lower down the hotel, and Eugene has asked Director of Construction Norman McKibben to speak to the team on the roof.
If there's a guest problem, I'm the one that's going to pick up the phone at any time of the day and call the project and kind of grind it all to a halt, and ultimately the guest is kind of king. Wow.
Hi. When you were doing that there and I was walking down through the building, you can actually hear it way down on the 3rd floor, and it's just a deep thud, bang.
You can't have sledgehammers or...
No.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Because there's obviously rooms then.
You're not here.
Not far from me.
That's why Eugene's here. The guests, you must remember, 3 floors down there's people lying sleeping. So if you go to bed tonight and somebody stand outside your wall banging with a sledgehammer, you would soon get... You see, even if it takes a couple of days longer, it saves Eugene a lot of headaches.
Despite regular stoppages, the mission to expand the hotel is so far proceeding to plan above and below ground. 15 metres beneath the famed Art Deco wing, a team of miners have been constructing a 65,000 square foot basement. Digging down deeper than the hotel is high, the 5 underground stories will house 2 swimming pools, a spa, a gym, staff restaurant, and a state-of-the-art machinery room in a space the equivalent of 3 football pitches. So far, the team has excavated down to the 2nd story.
What time are you got to be back up again?
Huh?
What time do you have to be up at?
2.
The engineer in charge, Jim Mackey, was tempted out of retirement to take on this audacious build.
I've asked John to see if it opens up more of the gravel.
The only person prepared to shoulder the risk of excavating under a live hotel, he's persuaded his engineer daughter, Michelle Mackey, to join him.
What's wrong with these ones?
They're at the position of the well now that the water's starting to back up the
yeah, I haven't looked down, but Diego says there's quite a bit of water in there.
Yeah.
And today, there's a problem.
I'm not sure how much of the water that's coming in is actually groundwater or just the kind of atmospheric conditions that are...
On the 1st story, too much groundwater is pouring through the clay, and senior engineer Diego Fenaroli is closely monitoring it.
If you look at the corner here, you can see some water coming down at the top of the pile. The water will find its way through any weak spot. So in several occasions we have to go back and do repairs where the water managed to get through the construction joints in the walls.
Like many buildings in central London, Claridge sits on top of an underground river, a stream of water diverted underground during industrialisation.
What you could do, Paul, is just put a pipe in there and we can try and ground it afterwards.
Before the basement excavation could begin, the stream was rerouted using a system of vacuums and pumps. But today, despite the mechanics, some of the groundwater is still seeping through the clay.
Just getting worse and worse, so that's why we've got a bit of a problem today.
As soon as the water gets into any cracks into the clay, so a big lump of clay could just fall out because it gets naturally detached from
landslide.
Yeah, on a very small scale, but still quite dangerous.
This instability is a problem for the next stage of the dig.
Oh, you want to wedge it in? Okay, I see.
The team need to build several 5-metre-long tunnels, which will eventually join a new stairwell and lift shaft and become the staff entrances to the new spa. But today, the wet earth means there's a change of plan.
You can see the water coming through at the top there. If the water is actually seeping through, there is the risk that the hole itself could collapse, effectively blocking the opening.
The risk of clay collapsing into the tunnel is increasing, so Diego has decided to push ahead of schedule and fill around the supporting frame with concrete.
I mean, the idea was to pour this tomorrow. We're going to push it and pour it today. The guys worked really hard for the last few days to get it ready. Do you have a face of clay above?
But because the mortar is being pumped down from street level, the sheer force of gravity means that until the concrete sets, it finds its way through even the smallest of gaps in the frame.
That's okay, they're going to start repumping now.
Keeping Diego on his toes.
It's going to get sorted. Oh, there. And most of the cases, you can't actually see where the leak is coming from. Yeah, give another 2 pumps. Seems to be going fine at the moment. There is no further leak. Oh! There's something weird. It's coming down from the back of the steel. It's going to be a long day.
Regardless of the challenges below ground, upstairs, the show must go on, as some of the world's most well-known faces continue to frequent the hotel. Throughout its 130-year history, Claridge's has seen icons such as Winston Churchill, Audrey Hepburn and Princess Diana pass through its doors. And now, it's beginning to attract a new type of star.
Okay, so this is the room. Look at this. What in the bloody hell? It is beautiful. Are you joking?
Kate Elizabeth has over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Wow, this bed is so comfy.
And hundreds of thousands more on TikTok.
Guys, you have no idea what I've just walked into. This place is insane. Look at the scenes.
The 21-year-old booked herself into a £630 a night room and took her online fans with her.
Oh my fucking God! It's fucking spit! It was warm! It was warm water! Look at the...
Young internet stars are possibly not Claridge's average clientele.
I've actually never been here before, but I feel like my followers would love it. My demographic is very much like private school, so I feel like everyone loves like the bougie, like luxury lifestyle.
I completely forgot. Every single hotel has a minibar. Potato vodka. Potato vodka. Oh, shut up. It's £150 for that little champagne.
But when there's a huge investment in the future at stake, the reviews of unannounced influencers matter.
I got a really good response to my video, to be fair. All my followers loved it. They were like, oh, this is so cool, like, maybe I'll come visit. I think I got tagged in the Claridge's Instagram as well. Loads of people just love the insight of just the whole entire experience.
What we're going to see is something that has taken a long time to get to this stage.
It's March 2019 and project manager Mark Allen has come to see the latest stage of the build, 500 miles away in Northern Ireland.
There have been a lot of locals calling in just to see exactly what we've been doing. I think that a lot of people have sort of thought we've been building a movie set. Hopefully towards our right, we should get our first glimpse of a little bit of Claridge's in Northern Ireland. Yep, there you go. You can just see it peeping behind the trees. Oh wow, there we go. There's a little bit of Mayfair sitting in a great big open concrete yard.
Today, they've erected a section of the 4-storey facade to test whether the key components will fit together before they begin the journey to Mayfair.
I'm going to trip over myself walking up that hill. Amazing, huh?
Pretty impressive, isn't it, when you see it that
really
close?
impressive
It's really
when you get up
domineering.
close, yeah.
Each structure is made from about 80 bespoke parts, including the bricks, window frames and steel beams on which everything hangs.
You really start to see the detail as you approach it, don't you? You don't get it from a distance.
Yep.
I mean, even the detail in the Trevor stonework's beautiful.
What would be on site, maybe months of work for loads and loads of men, is now going to be days of work for a handful of men, because all the work's done here. We're going to try and take a look at the 5th floor roof?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every section interlocks with its neighbour securely on all sides, meaning minimal engineering back in Mayfair.
The next time we look out the window of 802, we'll be looking out at we'll be looking out at the Shard.
There'll not be so many green fields. It'll be a different view entirely.
So 2 or 3 weeks we'll have these all touched up, wrapped easily.
And while the team are happy the sections themselves slot together, they won't know how they'll fit on the building until they arrive at Claridge's.
Tolerances are so small that if the primary steel from behind is a little bit too far this way, it pushes this dormer out of alignment so it doesn't align with its bolt hole down below. And if it doesn't align with its bolt hole down below, it doesn't line up with the leadwork outside, and if everything's just too tight and it doesn't fit the way it's supposed to fit. This has to fit. There's no room to be messing about with it or to be modifying it.
That's better. Keep coming up in one. Keep easing down.
Back in London, the metal framework for the dormers is being craned onto the hotel roof.
Let's get the columns on, Neil. I need an 89 and I'll sling him.
Each of the steel sections have been made to precise specifications so they can be quickly bolted together on site.
Well, it's not, you can't just cut stuff off. It's not down to me to make that decision.
If they can find the right parts.
We need that base plate sending over, Jim. You put the wrong base plate on the C10 because it's got to be cut off and re-welded on completely. The base plates, it should have a different base plate
on it, fit onto there, but it's obviously too big, so we've got to send another one out. We've got to cut that off and re-weld it on side.
How long is that going to take?
Oh, 2, 3, 4 hours probably.
Oh, so it's going to get done today?
No. Got to get the piece here yet. Got to get the steel. Got to get somebody out to come and sort it.
Time's the pub open.
As the framework is put together, the engineers need to check every single measurement of every single bolt hole.
So if you come and look here, I don't know if you can see, in this steel there are 2 little holes which are where the dormer windows are going to sit and fix into. Now, the allowance of that is about 5 mil, which is nothing for them to fit perfectly. So what we've got to do is check that they're in the right place now before we start bringing these massive lumps of concrete onto site. We can't put the weight of the dormers on the existing slab because it's not strong enough. So it all has to be hung off those points there.
The total weight of the 4 new stories is heavier than the 2 original brick ones. So to ensure the additional load is spread across the entire building, the dormers need to be fully supported by the steel frames.
If they're slightly wrong, then they'll look wrong. And it will, as you look at the building, like the windows won't line up properly. So it is, yeah, it is kind of, as Alex Ferguson said, squeaky bum time with this.
Despite the massive modernisation programme, there are those that revel in the parts of the hotel that remain resolutely unchanged. The Fumoir has been serving cocktails since 1929. Prince Philip had a favourite spot here.
I think Claridge's is one of the great pleasures of life. Family, Marmite on toast, sex, and the Fumoir and a very nice champagne cocktail at 9 o'clock in the evening.
But for those that want to try something different, Claridge's is planning to open its first new bar in 24 years. The Painter's Room.
We've got that figure that's going in the corridor. We've got that guy for the menu.
Artist and sculptor Annie Morris has been asked to come up with a concept for the space unlike anything else in the hotel, while still retaining a hint of its 1930s origins when it was known as the Painted Room.
I think that like fox thing would mirror the flower too much.
It's really like walking into a sketchbook of thoughts and things that I'm thinking about at the moment. They're quite spontaneous. I'm thinking about a bar and I like the idea that there are lots of people and animals talking. So I think the beginning was just thinking about how to have conversations between, like, whether it's an animal or a faceless woman with a flower on her head, you know. So there's really nice like conversations happening that might happen at any bar. Right now I'm trying to decide about adding more to the drawings that I've done. Then I'm going to get them made into stencils that I'll then paint onto the wall, so it has a slight relief to it.
The target clientele is younger, but still with plenty of disposable wealth. And to appeal to this new crowd, an experimental range of cocktails is being developed.
Right now what we're doing is we're running a distillation under vacuum, and the idea is just to give us an idea of how we can kind of come up with new flavors and new techniques.
Today, Director of Mixology Nathan McCarley O'Neill is working on an homage to Van Gogh's almond blossom work.
We've basically taken almond blossoms, we've infused them for around 2 hours directly into a high-proof spirit. These ones in particular from Tarragona were very special and unique because they grew beside orange groves and olive groves. So you don't only get the almond flavor, but you get orange, olive at the same time. And this will then condense the steam back into a liquid again. And what you'll have here is basically a almond blossom vodka, if you will. Delicious.
Yeah.
Needs a little bit of water.
That's what you need in the morning.
So basically now at this point, wow, hang on 1 second. My tongue is on fire. So we're only going to add a small, tiny amount of this into our final batch, but right now to drink it is exceedingly strong, as we just find out.
After a year of basement excavation, the team have reached the final level, B5, 23 meters underneath the hotel. But the deeper they go, the slower the progress.
But it's got slower because we're so much lower. So now instead of going up 1 floor or 2 floors, we're now having to go up 5 floors with every skip. So the whole process just slows down a little bit.
As the deepest reinforced concrete floor is laid, the miners have one more challenge: 2 final tunnels. As part of the hotel's upgrade, the engine room for the plumbing and wiring is being moved from the rooftop above the Victorian wing 55 metres down to the deepest level of the basement. This new nerve centre will then need to be joined to the network of pipes back on the other side of the hotel. To do this, at the same time as they started the basement excavation, the team dug 2 4-metre wide vertical channels beneath the Victorian wing. Now, the miners need to dig 2 horizontal tunnels to join the bottom of the shafts and connect over 100 metres of pipework across the hotel.
We're installing the first ring of one of the service tunnels at B-file level. What I'm checking is just checking the position of the ring. Need to make sure that the ring is actually vertical, as close as possible to the vertical.
Digging into solid clay, the team are relying on a set of precise measurements to ensure the tunnel and the shaft join up.
You're a little bit twisted. That one there needs to come out 10 mil. That one needs to go in 20 mil. Yeah, that's it. They're trying to realign it. As soon as you start going on a long distance, even 20 mil, they can actually be a couple of meters by the end of the time.
The most difficult part of this operation is actually connecting the 2 elements together.
That's it, Kevin. That's good. Yeah.
There's always a risk or the potential maybe for just somebody to take their eye off the ball and an error creeps in.
Yeah, that's your center of the ring at the moment.
And only after another month of digging will Jim and Diego know if their calculations have been on track. 23 metres above the tunnelling, en route to the new Painters Bar, is the Talking Heads Gallery, a showcase of Claridge's most famous guests, immortalised by artist-in-residence David Downton.
Profile?
Profile? Which one?
No, this...
To reflect the changing fabric of the hotel, today David is working on a new portrait with his muse, supermodel and hotel regular Erin O'Connor.
Square a shoulder for starting.
Today is about doing a new, fresh illustration to reflect the new backdrop of Claridge's. If you love a place, you want to see it evolve, you want to see it being cherished and cared for and loved and moving forward as the world does. And change, or would you like it where it was?
Where it was for a minute, I'll just do one like that.
You can stay here, the world goes on, and there's an awful lot of really hardcore work going on behind the scenes. It's this sort of seamless flow of people doing their very best to keep the hotel alive and well. I love how diverse and intriguing this whole corridor is. You've got a lot of people from different walks of life. You've got Sarah Jessica Parker at the top. And here we have Kristen Scott Thomas and Tand V. Newton. What it feels to me is that there's a real love and appreciation of the people that keep coming back. And they will now be here forever. You never get used to walking down a corridor and seeing a picture of your favourite icon or your favourite actor. Just splendour and glory, and then somewhere in the middle, I see me, and I will never get over that. I don't want to get over that. It's a really special thing.
You gonna help him reverse back here? I'll stop the traffic for you.
It's May 2019, 7 a.m.
Go on, Mark, bring him in. Yeah, go on, he's good there, he's good. Fire it down.
After 450 miles through Northern Ireland, Wales and England, and the voyage across the Irish Sea, the first of the dormer sections have arrived in Mayfair.
All stop there, Lindsay.
I'm really surprised to just the sheer size of them. They are absolutely huge. I love how they've got the Claridge's logo on the side of them.
Up on the roof, the team are about to find out whether the steel frame will match up to the ready-made holes in the dormers.
It's just a little bit trial and error. People have been a little bit panicky. No one here on site's installed these dormers, and when I was speaking to the guys earlier on, they were saying no one's done these dormers full stop.
Right, Lindsay, steady as you can. Just go up to 4 ton for us, please. Up to 4 ton.
And before that, the fragile brickwork needs to survive the most perilous stage of its journey. The final 30 metres up to the roof.
When you're looking at that, what are you thinking?
Hope it stays together. Just to take us up safely, no damage. Yeah, probably worried about it maybe swinging, hitting the building, or any number of things.
Right, Lindsay, nice and steady. Just creep that back up to 6 ton, please.
I'm up to 6.5 now, so if it goes any higher, I'll give you a shout.
Years of work is coming down to this moment, so it's just, we hope everybody's done their part right.
Coming up!
Keep going up in 1.
Yep.
Right, looks like it's clear now, Lindsay. Just start creeping up again there for us, please.
All right.
If the wind speed goes above 20 miles an hour, the hoist will have to be stopped.
What's the weather saying? What's the wind speed saying up there, please?
15.
Just creep up nice and steady. Slowly as you can.
If everything goes according to plan and everything goes as we've mocked it up back in Northern Ireland, they should slot together like a great big piece of Lego for, yeah, well, I guess that's really what we're looking at. This is Lego for big boys.
It's nearly there, like, isn't it?
As if the pressure isn't enough, hotel boss Paddy has arrived on site to witness this landmark moment.
The biggest fear with one of these dormers arriving on site is that something just doesn't line up for us. If it doesn't fit, I don't know quite what we do. We put it back in the lorry and take it away again? We don't have a plan B.
Hold it. Touch it to the left, Matt.
Yeah, looking good there, mate. Go on, got loads of room here. Go on, keep it coming to me.
Down in 1 again, Lindsay. Down in 1.
That's it. Makes it steady. Keep coming on, hands on.
Hold it. Oh!
Whoa!
Success.
That cleat says it has to come on down, because that cleat has to come down and rest in this.
But one of the engineers has spotted a problem.
There's something about that located, that hole there is not in the right position. So it looks like that hole's not correct. That's what it looks like. Structural floor level, finished floor is up around that same thing there.
Well, then it's 179 above, but that is our finished floor level there, Mark.
All I know is that there's a hole drilled in the wrong place. That's supposed to be up inside the steel, which has got a hole cut out for it.
It looks like existing floor level where the plan is start variance, and that's what's created the problem with that. You know, the whole building's at an angle. You've got old with new.
Despite the meticulous measurements, the plan didn't take into account the irregular dimensions of the 130-year-old building.
From the top of that,
you won't get it.
To finished floor should be 132 mil. So we're going to have to get a bracket made and go in.
The solution is to use a single steel bracket to bridge the gap between the frame and the dormer.
Never a problem, always a solution. We will find a way around it.
The floors in Claridge, from across the length of our site here, there's over 150 mil of a fall. It's just the way the building has settled and moved. They were taking their measurements from the existing floor level, but what they should have been doing is taking the level from the top of the steel, because the steel is standard, it will not change. So now they've hung it in place and everything is working as it should have worked.
The bolts have sheared and they have moved, so there is some damage. So that's what I'm waiting to see, is how much damage has actually happened.
Trevor is concerned that rips to the protective fastenings may have affected the brickwork underneath.
So we don't know whether or not the lorry drivers had to brake suddenly or something and the solid jolt is just sheared the steel off. Wow.
They'll need a closer look before they know the true extent of the damage.
Paul, get one of your guys to rip the plastic off.
Yeah.
Trevor, what do you think?
Just need to dust it off. We can see a few joints have opened up in the coping and the transport.
But it's only the joints, nothing cracked. It's only re-grouting and repointing, huh? There's not a brick cracked, huh? Amazing.
The damage is minimal.
That's a work of art.
It's just very exciting to see this happening. It's a great sigh of relief when you see something like this coming in and it actually fits into where it's meant to go.
I'll do that, Lindsay. Down in one again now, please.
For the next 2 years, 100 more dormers will be transported from Ireland to complete Claridge's new style roof.
Yeah, we should light those as well, set the atmosphere. And then I think we're almost good.
At ground level, another feat of imagination is becoming a reality. Tonight is what's known as a soft launch for Claridge's new bar, the Painter's Room.
All right, let's set up then and let's start doing drinks.
Oh, wow. This is incredible.
Nathan and his team are trialling 8 new cocktails, each costing around £20 on hotel staff and a few specially invited guests.
This one is our version of the martini. We mix 2 different types of gin.
Oh, so strong.
Further down still, at the bottom of the basement, the miners have almost completed the 2 service tunnels that will carry all the hotel's water, electricity and air conditioning from one wing of the hotel to the other. They've reached a critical moment.
The next big milestone is basically the connection of the vertical piece with the horizontal piece. The basement's the building's lungs and hearts. This is its arteries. You know, this is the bit that feed it all into the existing building, into the risers, and away you go then.
The team are about to find out if their calculations have been correct and they're on course to meet the bottom of the vertical shaft.
There's always a certain amount of nervousness that somewhere along the line an error has crept in or something has gone wrong, because over a distance of 40 metres, I mean, you could be out quite significantly at the other end.
At the minute, he's less than a metre away from the vertical shaft. Well, we're hoping to meet perfect. We can't be out half a metre. The two have to meet. There is really no tolerances.
Yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa.
The tunnel and shaft have lined up perfectly. The relief is palpable.
I feel wonderful. The breakthrough looks good. Have you seen it? No, I haven't looked.
And it's a moment so crucial for the functioning of the upgraded hotel that boss Paddy has come to take a first look through the new passage.
Unbelievable, huh? That's the first time we've hit it.
Yeah.
Right there.
There's a ladder. Yeah, there's a wee ladder there. Wait, man, there's a ladder here. Here, Paddy. Here. See?
Change all.
Yeah, never change. Not what change now.
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. You're telling me it's unbelievable.
It's maybe like the French and the British meeting when building the Channel Tunnel. You know, when you're coming from 2 ends, there's always great relief.
It signals a huge milestone for the project, the completion of the basement shell. The vision to expand the size of the hotel is becoming a reality.
Excavation is now finished here for B5.
That's it, so 5 basements done.
Yeah.
Yep. So
amazing.
Jim and Michelle will soon be handing over the basement to the hotel to be fitted out.
It's one of these. It's a bit like a love story, isn't it? Yeah. Come to the end, but you know, it's tinged with sadness. I don't think I will ever do another job where I'm the project manager, living it, breathing it, eating it, sleeping it.
So it's not related to our working relationship?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's been an absolute joy to have done a job together.
Well, you say that now.
We always talk about it.
We're still talking at the end of it, so I don't think it's been all that bad.
It's just the sense of achievement that, yes, we're there now.
But first, one of the completed access tunnels is to be used for a very different purpose, as the staff entrance to the basement wrap party.
Everybody is really, really good mood, and people cannot believe that we're 30 metres below Brook Street and we're down having a party in a space that didn't exist 3 years ago. The hotel staff, everyone's been blown away. The world is full of doubters, but what the world needs at this stage is people that say, this is what I want to do and we're going to make it happen.
Going up in the world, directly above the basement, lift operator of 30 years, John Alves, has seen it all.
This lift is 140 years old, as was one of the first ones in London.
The oldest remaining technology in the hotel is fiercely guarded from the hand of change.
Good afternoon, how are you today? First take to the 5th floor. The guests, they love this lift. Believe me, the biggest people in the world, I said all of them pass through here to the Claridge. Very, very important people. The King of Spain, been here a few times, even the actors. Tom Cruise, he was here under your spot, and he loved to come up and down this lift. He's a lovely person and very easy to work with him.
Keep going up in one.
Further up still, and the rooftop is within a few months of completion.
Hands on it now, Lindsay. Start jibbing down steady again. Jib down only.
This is going to be one of the big balconies, so when you come here, like, look at the view. You're looking down to the city, you're looking down to the Shard, you're looking over to the London Eye, and on a really, really good day, you can actually see right down into Canary Wharf. We're planning that by September of 2020, that all these rooms will be completed. So from September, people will be sleeping on these floors.
With the end in sight for the Claridge's build project, the vision is overtaken by world events, and the mission to keep the hotel open at any cost is dashed. The hotel is forced to close for the first time in over 100 years.
How are you? Good, thank you. Nice to see you.
10 days later, the doors do reopen, but to a different kind of guest.
So your keys are ready here.
Frontline NHS staff.
The first 2 weeks that I started working in the ICUs, I would cry about every night. It was so stressful. So coming here and having at least some bit of comfort and stability has been phenomenal. I knew nothing about this hotel. I'd never heard of it. It is like a dream.
These amazing doctors and nurses were under so much pressure, so we lent them the hotel. Claridge did a similar thing during the war, so we felt it was the least we could do. That seemed been a very worthwhile use of Claridge's during this time.
Seeing so much death at the height of this peak has been a really harrowing experience. And it just feels as if the hotel is giving us this big virtual hug when we come, and wrapping its arms around us and actually saying, you know what, we're here and we care and we recognise what you're doing.
The Claridge's kitchens are also making 500 meals a day to be distributed to 4 NHS hospitals.
Normally I'm in the events team, so looking after weddings and other large events that take place in our ballroom.
Are you a cook?
Am I a cook? No. Definitely not a cook.
It's the same food on-site as off-site. The world has changed, and so has room service.
We warm it up of an evening and then it gets left outside their room together with their disposable napkin and their disposable cutlery, which is not quite Claridge's standards, but it is what it is right now.
When are we starting in here, Paul?
Screeders hopefully coming Thursday, Friday. It's screeded.
Brilliant.
On the 11th of May 2020, almost 2 months into lockdown, the construction industry is given the go-ahead, under strict conditions, to begin work again. The NHS staff are housed on the lower floors, insulated from the work. So for the first time in the 4 years of the project, Norman doesn't have to worry about disturbing their guests.
One side is bitter sorrow because the hotel's closed. The other side is brilliant because the work we're getting done at the minute is phenomenal.
I heard the jackhammer yesterday and it was like music to my ears. It was like, it was a complete reversal.
Something that maybe took a week to do, now we can do in a day. And that's the difference.
At the very bottom of the basement, the team of engineers has been able to install 70 tons of new plant machinery ahead of schedule.
This is B5, this is the heartbeat of Claridge. If you take this away, all you have is bricks and mortar. We have a heating system that can heat 200 houses. And underneath here, the full width of the basement, we have a massive subterranean tank that takes over 100 tons of water.
In fact, it can supply the whole hotel at full occupancy for 24 hours.
Any water that's used in the hotel, whether it be heating, chilling, showering, bathing, all the water comes from here.
It's been over a year since the miners broke through to link the 2 service tunnels with the vertical shafts. They now stand ready to connect the plant room to the hotel above.
When you go over to turn on your air conditioning and to cool the building down or heat it up, the heating or the cooling will have come from here and up the risers and the whole way up to the 9th floor. This plant cuts 45% of our carbon footprint, albeit that we have these 5 basements, 6 basements. We have 4 new floors in the top of Claridge, and we still cut 45% of the carbon footprint of the old hotel.
The key to this improvement is a state-of-the-art energy capture system, which allows excess heat produced in the plant room to be reused elsewhere in the hotel.
So, no problems to date, but let's see what happens as we start to bring it onto line.
Is he here yet? How you getting on?
The hotel has been closed to paying guests for 5 months.
All right, if you can't get there, give me a shout, I'll get it moved.
But on the 15th of August 2020, it reopens its doors.
Mark, do me a favour. I need to put the truck in there to change the flags. He came here first job, yeah?
The hotel has been replumbed with 45 kilometres of pipework and rewired with 450 kilometres of cabling.
Last day before we reopen, there's a lot of teething problems. I tried to replug it back in yesterday and it blew it all again. Now I call in a professional. Power issues, water issues. Coffee man, did you get water?
Not yet.
Hopefully in the next couple of hours, we'll be on top of it.
Where's the closest water supply?
There's a sink in there. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Get rid of this rubbish out here, look, there's cups in it. We always greeted our customers with a handshake and offered assistance with their luggage, etc. This will obviously be done in a different way now. We're such a tactile people, to actually not be that way now feels a little bit unusual, but, you know, it has to be done, that's it. So what can we do?
Finally, the famous doors are open to paying guests once again.
Come this way, please. Welcome back.
Good afternoon, how are you? Nice to see you.
Lovely to see you all. Enjoy it. Enjoy your breakfast. Yeah, have a little look, yeah.
Are you feeling all right?
Yeah, a bit limpy.
Yeah?
I might borrow your stick, but I'm all right.
Good to see you, John.
Among the first to return is 94-year-old Jerry Parker.
Oh, look at that.
Eggs Benedict.
Back to normal.
Back to normal. Bon appetit.
A retired bookmaker, he's been coming to Claridge's for breakfast every day for 50 years.
It's like coming home. I've missed it for 5 months. Missed it. The doorman outside I've known for years. Though they got masks, I knew who they were. I'd give them a big kiss. I'm a kissable person. I know maybe it's the East End way, I don't know. I love this place. I could sit here all day and all night if I have to. Service, you couldn't get better if you were royalty. I've always got people coming in to say hello to me. And I say, fetch a packed lunch with you. It's expensive here.
A year later, with the world returning to normal, the extraordinary has happened on the roof. After 2 years of hazardous daily journeys from Northern Ireland, the 4 Victorian-style stories are nearing completion. 16 decorative chimney stacks, perfect replicas of the originals, are the crowning glory.
I don't think whenever the Victorians built the original chimneys in Claridge's, they ever expected to see chimneys coming off the back of a lorry from Northern Ireland. That's our last 2 large chimneys arriving onto the site, and it's fantastic to see it here. Well, the last time we saw Dormer 802, or I was standing in Dormer 802, we were standing looking out over the rolling countryside outside Macrofelt, the green fields, and here we are looking out at London Eye and the Shard and all the magnificent buildings in the distance. There's a huge satisfaction, I think, for everyone that's been involved with the project. It's definitely a watershed moment as you see the roof starting to finish. Seeing it all up here now, I have to say, is quite humbling when you look at the effort that everyone has put into it to get it here.
Next time, a devastating blow stops the build in its tracks.
There's not a lot saving that.
It just decimated the whole spa.
Everything we've done has been ruined. It's soul destroying.
Design pressures hit the roof.
I'm here to tell you, it's possible, it's not possible. The wood is there. I'm not going to do your job.
And Claridge's new chapter finally begins.